This is the Palestinian Mi-8, so let's dive in and find out more about the Palestinian Mi-8. So the Oslo Accords happened, right? The Palestinian side was being represented by Yasser Arafat and the Israeli side being represented by Yitzhak Rabin. This was signed in 1993. Following these events, the Palestinian government was allowed to purchase 3 helicopters for transport of government officials. In late 1998 to early 1999, Palestine got 3 Mi-8 MTVs, all from Russia. All 3 helicopters were produced in the Kazansky Vertonoletny Zavod, that translates to Kazansky Helicopter Plant, that is based in a town in Russia called Kazan. The camouflage we can see in game, which is a user skin made by Mystery 15, seems to be inaccurate to the real life helicopter, which is a VIP variant of the helicopter with square windows. But how do we know this, you may ask? Well, if you look in game, you can see the SUYAF registration on the back of the tail on the plane, right? This is only seen on the helicopter with the square windows. Although it is certainly possible that it is the same helicopter despite the different windows, because the only pictures of the Mi-8 with the circular windows were taken before the pictures of the Mi-8 with the square windows. So assuming what I just said was true, that means that the helicopter must have been upgraded slightly or slightly redesigned since late 1999 to the middle of the year 2000. If what I just said about the Mi-8 being upgraded was not true, then the aircraft should get the registration SUYAG. This was the registration used of another one of the 3 Mi-8s that Palestine got from Russia. Sadly though, all fun times must come to an end, and Israel did a rocket strike on Yasser Arafat's headquarters in Gaza. That destroyed all 3 helicopters. Fun fact, that's the same day Israel launched a rocket attack with multiple rocket barrages on Palestinian homes and non-combatants. Here's a cool video showing the damage that the Israeli rocket attack did. Despite their losses, Palestine started using the helicopter as a monument in Gaza. And then when Hamas took power, they repaired it and started using it for parades. Alright then, now it's time to talk about the Mi-8 in WarThunder. Alright, first we will talk about what this helicopter gets in the standards of armor. Now there's not much to talk about here, and we can really just say that it will only protect your major parts from low caliber MG fire to an extent. But high caliber MG fire, yeah, you're not going to survive too well against that. It may reduce the damage, but it won't actually stop it, so good luck. Okay then, the next thing I'd like to talk about for the Mi-8 in WarThunder is its secondary weapons. And to say it short, there's a lot of them. Not in options, but in payload. I mean there are still a lot of options, but mostly payload is what you want to talk about. The first thing I would like to say about this is it's got 4 Phalange missiles, which in my opinion are some of the best on like the starter or low ranking helicopters in the game. Because these things have a very long range and you can even use them within 4 kilometers if you're good enough with them. Me personally though, I use them within 2 to 3 kilometers ish, but it's really up to you. Next weapon I'd like to talk about is the S5K. Very high quantity of 192 rockets, I must say. This can be very effective, but sadly no ballistic computer, so it's going to be a bit tricky to aim these. But don't worry, like I said, you've got 192 of them. You won't run out anytime soon, and with the amount of rockets you have, you'll make a ballistic computer in your head, so you won't even need a ballistic computer, you've just got so many. The final weapon I would like to mention is the 500 kilogram bombs, that is 4,166 McDonald's cheeseburgers for the American viewers, and the 250 kilogram bombs, and that is also 2,083 McDonald's cheeseburgers for the American viewers. These are a good replacement for the rockets if you're good with aiming them. They're also very funny to bomb rush at the start of the game with, if you like that sort of playstyle. Either way, these weapons need to be a bit more precise with, you need to be. Alright then, it's time to talk about mobility, and can I just say something quickly? Well, it's not great because it's a massive helicopter, but despite its size, it's still better than you may expect. I'll just say it's good enough, that's all I can really say about it. Okay, before we get into how to play this helicopter in battle, we're going to go over what to watch out for before we start that. So yeah, that's what we're going to go over. First of all, this helicopter is a very big target. I mean, it's the biggest helicopter in the game, so don't get too close or you'll get shot down. Second of all, make sure Israel isn't on your team. Otherwise you will be indiscriminately destroyed as soon as you are seen on their screen. Man, I think I'm starting to believe that conspiracy that WarThunder is used to train their army and air force. Now we know what to watch out for, we're going to start learning about how to play this helicopter in battle. First we're going to go over the concept of heli rushing. So for heli rushing you need to have a weapon with unguided weapons, and you rush into the battlefield with bombs or rockets. Personally, in the Mi-8, I use bombs, and then I gain some altitude, normally about 1 to 2 kilometers altitude, and then I drop the bombs from up there. It does take a bit of time to get used to the way you need to drop the bombs, but eventually you'll get it, don't worry. Time to talk about ground realistic. In this, all you will really need to do is stay 2 to 3 kilometers away from the battlefield and ideally find somewhere to take cover behind once you've launched your missiles. So what you want to do is just do that, like I said, and you also want to, if there's any any enemy planes that come in, you want to try and launch your rockets at them. So take your Phalange missiles and the S5 rockets. That's your best bet of defending from them. Most of the time you will be unsuccessful, but the odd 20% of the time it may work and save your life. In helicopter enduring confrontation, also known as helicopter PvE or helicopter EC, you will really want to do the same thing as I said for ground RB, which is basically launch your missiles at the SPAA first, and that's about it. But the other thing you can do is you can just generally just bomb bases, which is a very effective way of doing research. Except it is quite boring, but like Heli PvE is fun anyway. It's more effective and it can generally be a lot faster to grind that way. Now it's time for me to sign off, and with that being said, keep your kids away from IDF members and don't carry pages.